Yo, what is up, Instagram fam? How you guys doing? So I've been a little bit busy and haven't been able to post too much, and a couple places I've been working, the reception's been on and off. So I thought I'd do a little video here, guys, to show you how I get my stain samples ready for a client. They've chosen a color, they have the wood that they're putting it on, so they're asking us to get a sample ready and try and, redo what somebody's already done. So essentially, this is their sample, this is what they're going with. Orange stain, it's got some clear on it, right? So what I do is I go to a local shop here called Bel Air Industrial Coatings, that's where I get my stains, and I take a piece of what they want and a piece of the material, and this is fur, and they do a match. Their best match. They cheat a little bit, but I mean, because I got to put this over a huge surface, so they kind of just dab this on there and let it dry, which doesn't really work, right? So what you want to do, guys, is you want to get yourself set up to do your own sample, right? You want to be able to recreate this on a fresh piece, right? So I have my prepared sample here, and I'll show you what I've done, guys. I had some gloves and a rag and the stain, and I've stained the piece of wood. So there it is. So I've broken it into a couple sections so I can do my samples on this, right? We got to get it to this. So you see, there's a little bit of toning in there. So that's what we're going to do, guys. So what I've done is I've got my little Sata Gun here with the stain in it. Usually when we're spray staining big units, stuff like that, we'll put a little tiny bit of thinner, just a little tiny bit of thinner to help it flow a little bit better, right? So if I can show you guys, really what you want to do is you want to get your setting nice. If you've never used a Sata Gun before, or air assist, right? This is going to be product and air together. These dials here, this one on the top is the dial for your fan. This one here is the dial for your product, and there's one more dial on the bottom, right there on the bottom, that you use for your air, right? So you want to find yourself a nice area, That's what you want, guys. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to darken each of these up to a different tone, and then they'll choose which one they think is best or closest. Because there's so many colors in the wood, well, I shouldn't say colors, because there's so many tones, lights and darks in that wood there, and it's really hard for us to just do it one, for them to pick one would be kind of tough. So it's like we got to get an overall. So that's why I can't blame them for getting that, right? But we're going to do a couple different, depths of color so they have a choice, right? So really what you want to do, guys, you're going to flip it over, is you just want to richen that up. Like, look how nice that is with a little richen. I usually tone most of my staining stuff. I like to tone most of it anyways, and spray stain it in a bit because it just richens it up so nice. And even if it's light, we'll even out some areas and stuff, right? Like I said, there's so many colors in the wood. So many variances, I should say, of the color in the wood that, it's hard to we don't want to darken it too much, but at the same time, we don't want it to be too light. It's kind of like this give and take, right? So the first one, I'm going to leave that one like that, right? And then I'll wait for it to dry, and I'll clear with a clear bomb just to do my sample, right? This guy here, though, I'm going to take it a little bit darker. And I know it's subtle, but it's there. See? So now I have two different tones of that color. This last one here, I'm just going to clear it. This one over here, it's just going to stay kind of like that. I might darken it up a tad. But it's really what I'm doing is I'm giving them a few options, and then they can decide. Essentially, what we want to try and do is we want to get to this, right? So that's what we're doing. So we'll let this dry, come right back, and we'll clear coat it, and we'll see how it is, and we'll see if we got a good match. All right, so we're back. Got my clear bottom here. This is how I like to do my samples, only because sometimes I don't have to be all set up and stuff. If I'm on site and I'm already set up, I'll just use my clear machine, but this is a good little way to do your samples sometimes. So this is 60 degree to try and match the sheen. The guy at the Bel Air Industry Coatings there, he had a cool little machine that would read the sheen on that. So he told me it's going to be a 60 degree, so that's what we're going to do. So what I do, guys, is I just, come along here and just clear this. Like dagging, tagging this up. Then we'll kind of see where we are, right? See? It almost might be that one, right? You see there's like that area there, so it's almost maybe I should just darken this one up a tad. Maybe that's too dark, right? So that's the stuff we'll have to kind of let the client decide, right? So I might even some of these out, but like this one here, I just did a light one. This one here, it's like, I'll call it a 1. This is a 2, and then I'll look at the sample and I'll compare, This one is obviously too light, but this one seems a little too dark. But this piece of wood and this piece of wood, they're never the same, right? So it's tough, unless these were cut out of the same piece, then they'd be closer to the same, but they're not, right? So this is kind of what we're going for, and this is what they did. So, but one little thing here too, guys, I also wanted to mention here too. So you see, it's nice and hazy. There's no spits in it, right? You want it to be almost an air, like an airbrush. You want it to be kind of misty, so you can put a nice even coat on there. You don't want it to spit too much. If you got spits in there, you don't have enough air in your fan, right? So you got to learn that. That's something I had to learn over time, is really how to dial that in and see where I like to sit sometimes, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. So like I said, we'll give this a couple more coats of clear. We'll give it a little buff lightly with a sponge. And then, like I said, I might darken this one up. But once we kind of know where we're at, we'll just clear it 2 more times, 3 more times to get the sheen close to that. And then our sample's pretty much done, and they can choose. And then if they decide which one they're going to go with, they'll have the material dropped off, and we'll go from there. So that's how I do my spray stain samples and my stain samples, guys. So keep tuned in and check me out for more to come, because we have started Dunville Custom 1. So check me out and stay tuned, y'all. Much love, always.